for me to be on the show.
Normally it's Messi doing bad today.
It's the only reason I'm happy that they lost 6-1.
There are friendlies in which you can get away with this, I agree.
I understand.
But you don't do it against Spain because this
I understand, but you took
all of that
Let's talk about the first 60 minutes when it was 2-1, where Higuain misses a goal that he's right there.
Write all these down.
How do you analyze soccer on this show?
I don't know. For some reason, we analysed 90 minutes.
Yeah, 90 minutes. It's a 90-minute game.
Look, no.
Shake my hand. You're the first ever, only ever Argentinian I've met that's positive after a 6-1 defeat.
He's back.
Yeah.
He's buzzing.
Hey,
Still positive?
I'm doing much better than yesterday. I'll tell you that right now.
Like, for us,
I feel much
was
better
crazy.
than yesterday.
As an Argentinian, what was it like watching that?
Oh, it was torture. It was torture. I mean, come on. Argentina had a few chances at the beginning, but you just see that the team wasn't even close to what they could play. I mean, when you see three in the back, you say, Sampaoli, what are you doing? That's for small teams. That's for teams that want to stay back. Argentina doesn't need three guys in the back, especially against Croatia. And then you have players out of place. Look, Enzo Perez, who played in midfield, wasn't even on the list of 23. Okay? Lanzini gets hurt. He brings him in. Boom. Starter. And the second game, the most important game of the group. From that point, and everybody's talking about Messi, but look.
The boy said yesterday that he looked disinterested.
No, there's a lot
in the second half.
There's a lot of problems going on in Argentina, and if you looked at the beginning of the game when they were singing the national anthem, and you just saw Messi going like this, he knew they weren't going anywhere. They're having serious problems with the coach Sampaoli right now. That there's rumors that he might not even coach the next game. There's some good possibility that he won't even be coaching. They don't like him. Sampaoli did a lot of bad things or supposedly did a lot of bad things that shouldn't have happened. And the thing is, when you have somebody like Messi, okay, he's not having a great game, but the guys around him, the 10 guys, 3 of them at least have to play well. And if they play well, they will help him pick up his level. It gets to a point where the guy's looking left and right, forward, backward. There's no hope. And that's when, like my friend Craig says here, he gives up. I mean, it gets to a point where you just can't go anywhere. He is the best player I've ever seen. I still believe in Messi. I still believe that if Argentina has a player like Messi with 1 game to go and they have to win, I really believe they can do it. I really believe they can do it.
You said there's a chance that they might fire Sampaoli before the next game. Yeah. Clearly, he doesn't know what he's doing at this level.
No.
So what is it, a 50-50 that he's going to stay, or is it a...
I say 50-50.
Would you sack him, Ricky?
Oh, I wouldn't even hire him. I mean, look, he wrote a book. I think it was chapter 12. He says he doesn't prepare. He doesn't believe in preparing games.
But he was so good for Chile.
That was noticeable.
He was good for Chile, but Argentina's different. And I'll tell you why. First of all, he's Argentinian. The pressure you feel in Argentina as an Argentinian coach, or going to Chile, following Bielsa's steps, right? As a foreigner, it's totally different. Argentina won 2 World Cups. If they don't win the World Cup, it's what is the word? You can't. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. All right. So he goes in and he grabs a team. He's the 3rd coach during the qualifying. All right. 13 different lineups in 13 games. Argentina comes back from his suspension and they miraculously qualify for the World Cup with his goals against Ecuador B or C or Z. All right? After that, they didn't play much. Messi didn't play. He didn't play against Spain. He didn't play against Italy. He was hurt. They couldn't get together. Then Sampaoli has this problem apparently in Argentina with sexual harassment on the daughter of the cook of the training center where Argentina plays. And then they have this big problem with Israel where Messi gets death threats. If you add it all up, the team that he puts together, put in players as right backs that never played in that position before in their life, not even when they were kids. If you look at this whole thing, changing the team, he leaves Dybala on the bench. He leaves Lo Celso on the bench. He leaves Higuain on the bench. He plays Di Maria. People complain. He takes him out. He has no personality. And Messi gets tired of all this, and that's it.
What about the goalkeeper? Is he the best goalkeeper in Argentina?
No, by far. They have a guy, a goalkeeper named Armani that plays for River Plate. He's fantastic. He's much better than him. The reason Sampaoli picked this guy is You ready? Because he's very good playing with his feet. That was his... He's the best goalkeeper.
Up until yesterday.
But what about
Up until
Romero?
yesterday.
Romero's fit, isn't he?
Well, Romero could be playing right now. But the thing with Romero is that when he got hurt, before he got hurt, he told Sampaoli that if he wasn't a starter, he wasn't going. So Sampaoli says, well, you're not going. And then this injury happens that right now, today or yesterday, he could have been playing.
Why didn't he just fire him? I mean, it was such a shambles, Ali. Why don't you just fire him now and move on?
I'm with you. And you talk about Chapter 12 being the one that he doesn't prepare games. Well, he was fully into Chapter 12 yesterday. There was nothing about this team that said preparation. I just go back to what you said about Messi. I understand that he's frustrated. And anybody in that scenario, being Lionel Messi, would be frustrated. But he's too important of a figure in the history of the game, not even Argentinian history, but in the history of a game, to be on the fringes, to be on the sidelines, to be on the outside looking in when his team needs him the most. So as much as he's frustrated, as much as he's a broken man, like Stevie Nichols said he was yesterday, he has to have a better reaction than what he did, because it's on him. The truth of the matter is that we're going to look at Lionel Messi and we're going to say, man, you are perhaps the greatest player in the history of this game. You can't just park yourself on the outside and watch everything else just crumble around you. That cannot be the legacy of Lionel Messi.
They're very lucky because they still have an opportunity and they still have Messi. And if they learn something from this, knowing that they have an opportunity that depends on them, if Messi now doesn't show up in the next game, then I say, yes, all you guys are right. I mean, he is, I'm sorry, I'm a Messi fan, but
so
you
am
can
I,
see
by the
him.
way.
You can see him. I sent a tweet yesterday saying that Messi was born not to play for Argentina. You know, Messi was born to play for Barcelona. Messi left Argentina when he was 12 years old. Messi is, soccer-wise, or became a man in Europe, not in Argentina. He left when he was 11,
But if
12
he's
years old.
disgruntled, if he's disgruntled with the coach and the team selection and team personnel, then there's no better reason to fire the coach before the next game, because you're not going to get the best from Lionel Messi if he thinks the coach is a muppet.
Well,
So what's the point?
Let me answer this, Ricky. We're losing it in the World Cup final 4 years ago, losing the Copa America final. Is it better for Argentina just to get knocked out here now, let the house kind of crumble and then rebuild?
No, because Argentina does not look good after Messi. This is going to be his last World Cup. It's the last hope for Argentina to win a World Cup since 1986. And they reached 2 finals in between. And the thing is that the players are there. And in Argentina, soccer is life. You guys know that. If they don't win, nothing else matters. And there's not going to be a rebuilding process because it's not even the association is not even off the ground.
But, and that's kind of a point. Argentina's problems are a lot bigger than Lionel Messi, a lot
Much
bigger than everybody else on
Because
the
of
field.
Messi, they're here, Shaka. Otherwise, they wouldn't even qualify for the World Cup. I wouldn't be invited to the show.
Has making those finals kind of papered over the cracks and allowed things to get even worse behind the scenes?
It might, but the truth is that he's the only one pulling this team. Look, Argentina had an election. By the way, this is the 4th president in the last 4 years.
Right.
There's a great story that there were 75 people voting for the president of the Argentinian Association, and they tied 38-38.
Good man.
Okay? So that's 76, and they had to go all over it again. And that's what they're doing. And Messi had to pay the salary of the people who work for the Argentinian Association Training Center 6 months because they were behind. And this goes on. And I'll tell you another one that I found out the other day, that Messi in Argentina came back in the same plane, I think 2 weeks or 3 weeks before Chapecoense went down. And when they landed in Buenos Aires, there was only 10 minutes of fuel left in the plane. That's a very small plane. That you're carrying a guy or a team that's worth over $1 billion. I mean, Chapecoense or Argentina or whoever it is, using one of those planes is crazy. But that's what they went through, and he knows all this. Look, Messi understands that this is a mess, and the other day Agüero comes out of an interview, and they say Sampaoli said this, and he said he can say whatever he wants, and he turns around and he...
Come from behind to beat Serbia by 2 goals to 1. A couple of nice goals from the Swiss.
Did they deserve the win, though, overall, Robbo?
Not in the first half, they didn't. They were outplayed by Serbia. Serbia got down the wide areas and got crosses into the box. Mitrovic was a real problem in the air as he scored the first goal. But as the game wore on, they started to take control of midfield. And from that moment on, it looked as though they were going to be the only winners late on. Once they got the equaliser from Xhaka, they were always going to be the winners if it was going to be a winner in it.
Better team one?
Kind of what Switzerland do, because they've never been, in recent history, the prettiest team to watch. They've always been super organised under this coach. They have got a little bit of flair in the team. And as Robbo said, they sat in, and that's kind of how they play. But in some way, they were forced to come out in the second half, which they did. 2 great goals, and I thought, yeah, they were ultimately, over the 90 minutes, the better team.
VAR's won a lot of friends, hasn't
Yeah.
he? Mm-hmm. A lot of friends in this tournament, but you have to question why the referee didn't go and have a look at the penalty appeal that Serbia had.
Yeah, and while VAR has been successful in the balance of this World Cup, why do you have the system in place when Mitrovic is literally being bear hugged by 2 defenders? Fabian Schär is not even looking at the ball. He's physically two-handed. Yes, and I'm thinking to myself, hold on a second. They call a foul on Mitrovic looking at this, and somehow they're looking at the video somewhere else and they think the same thing. That is one that perhaps they might have to take a look at.
Without question, it was a kind of easy decision for the referee, or the easier decision to make, and it should have been overturned. But for me, this is a game that Serbia had to win, and they started exactly that way. Came out, got the goal they deserved, got themselves in front, and then I thought invited a little bit too much pressure from Switzerland, and then all of a sudden had to play again. Yes, that call was absolutely blown, but once it was, you kind of felt the wind go out the Serbian sails, and Switzerland in the end deserved it.
It's a little unexpected also from Switzerland, I must say, because we've talked about Switzerland, who they are and how they're organized, and maybe they catch on the counter and they win the game 1-0. When they go down 1-0, I didn't really think that there were 2 goals out there for Switzerland, and yet it was a great goal by Xhaka, and then the speed of Shaqiri, who will not be at Stoke City next year, clearly.
Liverpool.
Apparently so. And what a finish it is, and what an important goal that was for Switzerland.
Well, he's almost their loose cannon because he doesn't track back and defend. And when they win the ball back, he's their outlet to start counter-attacking. And that's what he did. And what the centre-half was doing, Tosic trying to play offside when Shaqiri was in his own half. But he's the player that just gives them that little bit of flair when he gets on the ball.
Just a reminder, ESPN FC with you throughout the day. We'll be with you tonight looking back at this game, plus the 2 other matches today, and looking ahead to Mexico against South Korea and Germany-Sweden. Obviously, we're expecting a much improved performance from the Germans.
But as Sweden have shown through qualifying and the playoffs via Italy, 2 games, they're no mugs. They're not great to watch, but they're no mugs. They're very well organised. They've got the 2 banks in there, and they're big and physical. All that being said, it would be a disaster if Germany put up the same kind of performance. So I am expecting a better performance, but I'm also expecting personnel changes.
Yes.
3 or 4, at least, minimum.
Well, let's take a look at... We spoke to Raf, actually, and this is the starting 11. He believes that Jogi Löw will go with no Hummel, Sule coming in, no Draxler, Royce coming in to replace him. Does that make sense to you, Robert?
Yeah, because Draxler I thought was ineffective in the first game. Royce has got that little bit more pace to run down the side of people. Muller, I think, will go and join in with Timo Werner as much as he can. The one player I'm still surprised is in the side is Sami Khedira, because he looked unathletic, he was run past far too easily. I think he's lucky still to be in the side.
This is a Sweden team that are not going to pose the same kind of threat that Mexico did. It's going to be a more physical challenge, which you'd expect Germany to dominate. I also expect that there was some harsh truth spoken since that Mexico game, and Germany responds. I think this is a game Germany win, and win quite easily.
To your point, Jogi Löw, as successful as he has been with this national team, this last 4 days or so, is really the most important part of his coaching. Because at this point, everything goes great for Germany usually in this tournament.
Sure.
Everything, you can just pencil them in into the quarterfinals, and then from there they take over. Well, now there's some doubt. And I think for the first time, really, since Jogi Löw took over. And it's important now to see a reaction of a team that has the talent, but do they have the same hunger and aspirations that they had in Brazil? And the best thing that could have happened to them, perhaps, potentially, is the fact that they lost that first game. The wake-up call, the attention getter, they have their attention now, and there's historical evidence from Spain doing it in 2010. They can lose the first game, and then you can go on and win the tournament. Here's an opportunity for Germany.
I would be surprised if, well, Raf's obviously got information, but I'm surprised that Timo Werner's going to play. He's a player who I thought was going to have a great tournament, but that all went out the window after match day 1.
Who would you have top
Thomas Müller.
Really?
Because we talked about South Korea there. We talk about how they camp in. Sweden are going to be camped on the edge of the box. And Timo Werner's game is running off the shoulder. That room is not going to be there for him to get in behind. That's why I would be slightly surprised, as good a player as he is, that he's going to play in this game, because I think everything went out the window after that loss to Mexico.
Can anyone see Germany not winning this?
No, I don't think they'll win. I think they'll win the game. I think Sweden haven't got enough going forward to cause them as many.
Just a reminder, every day we answer your questions over on the website in a segment that we call Extra Time. And sometimes it's very funny indeed. Here is Best of the Week. Welcome into the latest edition of ESPN. What is this show? I'm sorry.
The inconsistencies are there with this team.
You've just beaten the defending champions. No one gave you a chance, and you two are sat there miserable.
West Saturday's done like that, right? The wing backs for them hit forward, so that might be a win.
They want the
You want to try it. Research is quite good sometimes.
I'm just.
Where's your predictions?
I wasn't invited. Wasn't invited. I think everybody was scared.
What do we make of the referee allowing the play?
Well, I think I asked the question. Don't I ask it and then you answer it?
Any hope for Australia in these two remaining matches?
There's hope for them, but I don't think they'll win either game. They played.
They're gone now.
They missed the trick. It's some sort of motivational speaker.
Seb, you must have eaten a lot of humble pie since the final whistle.
I want to make it very clear, okay? So everybody understands. You see that? I was wrong. Okay?
I don't. Is there something in your eyes?
What is going on?
A very distant prediction. Try those. That might help. He's just poked himself in the eye.
How's it looking to you, Elliot?
Let me see.
From the view from afar.
Where should I go?
I actually backed Switzerland to at least get the result.
Well,
A draw, at the least.
Differently.
Wait. Switzerland to get the result, a draw.
Yeah, that's what I said.
No, but he said, I'll definitely back Switzerland to maybe get...
I'll definitely maybe back them.
Stevie was going on about his tattoos all throughout the game. Going, look at him, old man with tattoos.
What was he doing wearing that thing anyway?
A t-shirt.
That stupid t-shirt. When you're little barreled round the middle, you kind of keep it covered up, do you know? It comes from experience. You'll never see me in a little t-shirt.
Tell you what,
A little V-neck action.
Never mind all that nonsense. Is the cuisine in Russia to your liking? Because there's no other way of putting it. You're very fussy.
Don't forget to remind Shaka Hislop that he chose Tony Cruz over Luka Modric.
What were you thinking?
Didn't you choose him as well?
Are we going to have this conversation after somebody has a decent game? You're going to pull out, I never picked them. Is that what you're going to do?
You seem really tense. Seriously. Let's get a massage.
Very good, right? 3-1. All right.
He's on the edge.
Can I get a different chair?
on the edge
Can I move to the end?
What are you talking to?
Anybody wants to listen?
He's looking up in the sky, talking about it. He wants to go for a chair. Can I have a chair? Can I have a chair? Anybody here?
I got voices.
Going on, Steve?
I got voices everywhere.
How's your eye?
Right, yeah.
Put on glasses is a big old mission.
Gap dancing was something else.
Really was into it as well.
Troubling.
Yeah,
Eyes
rhythm.
closed and everything.
I could see him doing that in his room.
Oh, that's troubling too.
That's just a poor visual. That's just a poor visual right there.
With little clothes on.
Why would you do that? People's minds, what's wrong with
I
you?
just think he would.
What do you do in your hotel? Do you have a bit of dance?
None of that dancing, I can assure you. That's
Some other kind of dancing?
a different kind of dancing, yeah, but not
Remember
that.
when he replicated the Paul Pogba challenge?
Yes,
And
in
he's-
his bed.
Because he told us.
There was just enough room in the bedroom just to sort of slide across the floor and show you the sort of over-the-top challenge.
What just happened?
Just want to go back to Neymar because, of course, that goal means now he's the third all-time top goal scorer in the Brazilian national team's history. Above him, it's not bad, is it? Pele and Ronaldo. But it's his emotional outburst after the game, in tears, on the pitch, after scoring that goal, after the full-time whistle. Went on Instagram, didn't he? Say that it was just the emotional outpouring. You know, it's not been easy for me.
Okay, I know and I recognize this is going to be a largely unpopular position on this panel, knowing the people that I have working with me. I don't mind it.
Right.
I don't mind the emotion coming out because if I'm standing in that locker room And Neymar crying means that he's letting go of everything that has come into this tournament, of all the pressure, of all the things that he has created for himself. And that means that I'm going to get a better version of Neymar going forward. I'm all for it.
I'm going to turn left now.
Well, I think Robbo's equally as cynical as me. I mean, if Serbia beat them, there'll be a tidal wave of tears.
But these crocodile tears...
They've just beaten Costa Rica, for God's sake.
But he's been under so much pressure.
Well, he puts himself under so much pressure by his antics and the thing. But I don't mind him crying and doing all that stuff and going on Instagram as long as he performs out on the field and does the right things out on the field.
Instagram is a weird word to come out.
Yeah, well, I can't. It doesn't go anywhere near viral and things like that.
He doesn't know what it is. He's just heard the word. He's heard the word Instagram. Look, I mean, come on. This is the me scenario. I understand. Every Brazilian that has pulled on the jersey, the real top ones, whether it be back in the day when it was Zico and Socrates, or whether it was Pele before them, the list goes on, where it's Romario and Ronaldo, they've all been under the most immense pressure. It's what makes them special.
Like he's not.
Don't start crying about it after beating Costa Rica.
It doesn't matter.
He's not the only player this tournament who's under pressure. There are a lot more players, well, a couple more players under a whole lot more pressure. Yes, I do. I have an issue. I feel as well. If he feels to cry, he feels to cry. That's up to him. I just find it disingenuous. The last time he was in tears, similarly, was in a press conference when Tite was defending him. I don't understand how you go from winning a game at the World Cup to breaking down in tears.
It's just relief.
Yes, an emotional letdown. It's just letting everything go.
Because Brazil beat Costa Rica in the second game of the World Cup.
No, help me.
I mean, look, people are different and react different to... I wouldn't be doing it, but to be quite honest, looking from the outside in, I'd much rather see some sort of emotion than see nothing.
So what are we to expect if they beat Serbia? What are we to expect next round? Is this going to continue?
No, but this is kind of the relief of everything that's gone on, isn't it? Now it's kicking on from here.
What has gone on? What has gone on?
I'm sitting here going, Neymar's rubbish, look at his horrible hair.
What has gone on that he hasn't brought on himself?
Well, that's fair. He has brought a lot of this on himself. That's fair. But I do think there is some relief. There is some sense of, you know what? There was a game that we thought we were not going to get the 3 points. We got a late goal. I scored a late goal. And now, all of a sudden, my World Cup takes a different turn than what it was before.
Well, then go in the dressing room and cry.
Well, okay.
No need to sit in the middle of the pitch and make it about you either. Again, bringing it on him.
Welcome to Extra Time. Who'd have thought that Shaq would be the heartless one? Not happy with Neymar crying.
I'm not heartless. I'm in touch with my emotions.
Are you?
Yeah.
I just don't feel I should be touching my emotions in the middle of the field.
You didn't go in the dressing room and do it, did you? Touch your emotional side?
Stop it!
All right.
Time and place, lad, isn't it?
To cry. You weep at, Robert? Like, do you weep at films?
Yeah, I do have a little weep at films. I'm not sure what films I do weep at, but I do weep at some.
Coco, I had a cry at Coco.
Yeah, I don't know what that film is.
Definitely not touch with his emotions.
It's a kid's film. This is a Gab. You still want to praise Sampaoli? Come on, Craig and Ali, say something.
I think we've said plenty.
Yeah, because Sampaoli was Gab's boy.
Well, but even when things were going south, to Gab's credit, he kept saying, no, Jorge Sampaoli will get this team right. Well, he couldn't be any more wrong.
Yeah, really wrong.
Got one last chance. Or will he be given that last chance?
Ooh. You want him sacked, don't you?
Tell you what.
Well, I don't think... I think the team have stopped playing for him.
Yeah.
They were so disorganised.
If you want him sacked, you can just say it.
Yeah, get him sacked. Sack him.
Yeah,
Sack him.
right,
There you go, get somebody else. Or let Aguero's going to run the team. He's going to be the
Messi.
coach.
He's going to be.
I tell you what, I'd rather have the kit man. Him. He should be sacked anyway for his
gear.
For his dress sense.
Oh, let's get Stevie back in.
By the way, that may be the only way that this team comes back together.
To get him and then...
Yes, and then...
he's gone.
Correct. There are no more excuses. Sampaoli's gone. Now, okay, it's you guys. Let's see it.
This has got to be the most wrong Gab has been about anything.
No.
He's got
quite a lot of the time.
He's got a strong record.
Yeah.
Strong record, yes.
But he says it with such power and force that you believe him.
Remember when he said that Villas-Boas was definitely going to stay at his job?
Neymar wasn't going to PSG. We had all that last year, didn't we?
Yes.
And he did.
My sources tell me.
Yeah.
He's got to revisit his sources.
But to be fair, Gab's not here, is he? So let's carry on.
Pick it up. I'll pick up.
Are people trying to make definitive claims about the legacies of Messi and Ronaldo jumping the gun a bit? Surely the entirety of their careers should be taken into account and not just the first 2 games of a World Cup.
Isn't that what we do every single week with Messi and Ronaldo anyway? One scores, the other one scores, we make definitive statements. Or everybody else does. That's what we do.
You made that.
They're both going to have magnificent
I've stuck
careers.
to my,
and
I've
CPC
stuck to
have
my
magnificent
definitive
players.
statement. My definitive
Whatever they
statement
do.
has not changed.
Coming in and having a
Oh, yeah,
conversation over there.
Sorry. What was that?
I'm just saying, it doesn't matter what they do from now to the end of their career, they're still going to be magnificent players.
Which player is better, Craig? Coutinho or Isco?
Hold on, I'm going to go and Google.
Stephen Nichol would Google.
Yes. How do you Google? Wow. Well, I'm speechless.
Wow.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's your personal.
You got to choose.
Coutinho.
Coutinho?
Isco?
Isco.
Coutinho.
Why?
Because it was 2-2.
Oh, that's...
You're the deciding vote.
Oh, Isco. Real Madrid. No brainer.
That's a tough one. Good players, aren't they?
For Switzerland's first goal, the Serbia defender ducked. I know it would have been a shot to take, but it would have prevented the goal. Thoughts?
We talked about that in the show.
You said it on the show, didn't you?
Yeah.
Ivanovic, former Chelsea.
He was a big old boy as well. He's usually quite brave, but wasn't brave on that occasion. What he was quite trying to do. Even worse was the defender for the second goal, Tosic. Play offside when Shaqiri was in his own half.
That was silly, wasn't it? What about Shaqiri when he took his t-shirt off?
Was he fully defined or not?
You did
Quite
that.
defined.
You do that in the gym, Robbo, at the hotel.
Absolutely.
You were saying you were running topless around Turkey.
What? Wait a minute. What?
It was hot. Oh, and I was only 19. I didn't understand the laws in those days.
And were you fully defined?
When I was 19.
Yes. Yes.
Let me tell you, I wouldn't do it now.
Yes.
Can any of you guys think of one thing that hasn't happened at this World Cup? Oh no, this is the one we have to change. Well, it's a different one.
Oh, okay.
Should Neymar have gotten a yellow card after the pen was overturned?
iPhone guy.
When VAR looked at the penalty for the
Right.
slight contact that he embellished.
No.
No? That wasn't a dive then.
Huh?
It wasn't a dive then.
It was an exaggeration.
Oh.
Is it the right decision to overturn?
So he just fell back.
It was right decision to overturn, yes.
But you don't feel it should have been? Would you have booked him?
Start crying.
He shouldn't have had a yellow card.
Yeah, you would have gotten a
Yeah,
yellow
I'll give
card.
it. I'll give it.
You really hate Neymar. I mean,
He just
honestly.
annoys me.
Yeah.
He
So
annoys me.
you dislike Neymar heavily.
No, I don't dislike him. I dislike his antics.
Oh yeah?
Oh, yeah, that sounds like you dislike him.
That's it.
I like
Are
Neil.
we done? I think that's it.
Is that it?
Should we have a look at Shaqiri? There he is.
Where is
no,
it?
they're
Oh,
supposed to put it out there. Oh, that worked well. Thanks for telling me that.
Hey!
Oh, yeah.
He's-
I mean, but Craig said he needed bigger shorts because he had a big
I don't think you can say that, Rob.
a big bottom.
Who said that? I never said no such thing.
You said it when watching the game.
I've never even mentioned Shaqiri today.
Oh, the other day. when we were watching the first time.
And Shakira's backside. And were you talking about Shakira's backside?
When we sit there watching games, what are you doing?
I've never even mentioned Shaqiri.
You've got a bad memory, let me tell you.
What about Shakira's backside? Have you spoken about Shakira's backside?
Goodness me.
Apparently, you have an opinion on
I'm the one got the bad memory. He keeps telling me the same story over and over. He told me to do he had to do the washing the other night. At
I had to do it again
the hotel.
next day.
He had to do his washing because he's been here a few
Right,
days.
yes.
Had to- yeah. And then half an hour later he went, I had to do the washing tonight. And then he's telling me I've said he's got a big backside.
What's going on, Robbo?
I hate to say, but I'm getting old.
He's not 19 anymore.
Yeah, you need a good run around
Tell you what,
Turkey. You need.
I'm saying nothing in that green room now when we're watching games.
Okay.
Never do.
Yeah, okay.
That is it. We are done, Robbo. So how are you watching? ESPN FC, of course, with you every day. Robbo's last day tomorrow.
Oh.
All right.
Lest he
I'm going to miss
forgets.
Robbo.